please tell me what is wrong with this picture? Padres 24-29 as they continue this long road trip going to Miami. What's wrong with this picture? Baltimore 34 wins, Minnesota 27, the Angels 28, the Marlins 28, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati 24, Arizona 30, San Francisco 27. All those teams, some really small budget teams, including the first place Tampa Bay Rays, have more victories than the 24-29 Padres. How is that possible?
I mean, these guys aren't hitting. I mean, and then, Machado's, he's hurt. He's been out for a couple of weeks now. We didn't have Tatis at the beginning of the season, but the players are not doing what they're supposed to do, and they know that.
I will tell you, the national media has now gone on a crusade calling out the Padres. It's pretty amazing. USA Today said the Padres are the biggest disappointment in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
ESPN has called them baseball's biggest underachievers. The Washington Post says the Padres model is broken. I mean, the criticism is being leveled at A.J. Preller for how he spent money, whom he traded away, whom he's entrusted to carry this franchise, and it's not working out. 24 wins. Do you know they are just a half game ahead of the last place Colorado Rockies? Dick Monfort's Colorado Rockies have the same number of wins as the Padres. Like I said, what's wrong with this picture?
That's crazy. I mean, but they're calling out the Padres. They're calling out Preller. But at the beginning of the season, they were all praising Preller. They were all praising Seidler. They thought they were putting together this magical team. They were doing it in a new and different way in San Diego. They had this new formula. And now how quickly everyone turns on them when they're not winning. But I don't know. I don't think it's Preller. I think it's got to be on the players.
Well, they're not winning. They have lost 11 of 16. They have lost 14 of their last 20. In extra inning games, the Padres are 1 for 18 at home plate hitting in extra inning games with a guy out at second base, the ghost runner. The Padres are 3-9 in one-run games with a $253 million payroll. The Padres are 0-5 in extra inning games on the season. Yes, some guys are hitting the balls on the screws, like Soto has had a real bounce back in the last 3 weeks. Tatis is hitting some home runs. Nobody else is doing anything in that batting order. And I don't know where they go next because they got no resources to call up from El Paso. They're as bad as the Padres are. Or if you're going to make a trade, they really don't have any ready-made players to trade. And because of the $253 million payroll, John, they can't really take on any more salary because that'll shove them into the next luxury tax bracket.
Mm-hmm.
What they have to figure out. The solution has to come from within. And I know we can say there's still 100 games left in the season. They've just gone past the 1/3 mark on the schedule. But there are a lot of teams in front of them. And there are national beat writers, notably Ken Rosenthal, who don't think the Padres are a playoff team. Think about that.
Yeah. Well, I know. Remember Bobby Cox when he was coaching the Braves? He used to say, let's go 50 games. At the end of 50 games, I'll know what I have and I'll know what kind of adjustments to make. But this is confounding. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. But sometimes you wonder about the decisions, even the decisions that Bob Melvin makes. Like, for example, in that Saturday extra inning game in New York, they were, had a runner on second and Brett Sullivan was supposed to bat, and they pinch hit Austin Nola, who's hitting like 140 something, and then Rizzo was like creeping in. He was like almost in the dirt near the batter's box. He was so close waiting for that. And what does Nola do? Of course he fails. I think he popped out or something. So some of these guys are just not performing, but then sometimes you wonder about some of the decisions that Melvin makes.
Well, I also think there's a theory out there that these guys just aren't coping with the pressure of the payroll on their shoulders. But there's also a theory out there that where's the fire? Where's the leadership? It's almost like, well, I got my money. So if we lose, we lose. I still got my money.
Mm-hmm.
This is just not right. Not at all across the board. And I'm just wondering, and here's the question we'll pose on Fans Forum. Are the fans going to call for somebody's head if this does not improve? And are the fans going to turn on this team if this does not improve? Granted, there's 100 games to go, but have you seen anything that makes you believe the next 50 are going to be better than the last 50?
Well, I mean, imagine if you're a season ticket holder and you're shelling out all this money, or you're a casual fan and you want to go, you go single game tickets. At some point, you're going to say, "Well, the heck with this." I mean, they're losers. But it's just confounding. You wonder, are they going to, someone's head going to get rolled from this? But who? I mean, are you going to get rid of Preller, Melvin? I mean, they're in long-term contracts too, just like the players. I think you've got to figure out a way to solve it from within. Manny's coming back, right? So hopefully they can get, on track here in June.
Okay, we go from one